Good morning there, everyone. It's Mr. Zen over here bringing us a brand new Nanatsu no Taizai discussion. And for today's segment, guys, we are going to be talking about chapter 198, guys. The Giant and the Fairy. Yes, guys. This chapter was, I would say, sidetracking from the main plot of the story. Don't get me wrong, it's still continuing with the Ten Commandments itself. But this chapter in itself, guys, was more along the lines of explaining to many viewers as to what was King and Diana doing during the whole time in the Battle of Leonis. And now we actually get to look at it, and we actually are seeing that King and Diana are actually training in the fairy forest, guys. Yes, guys. We learned in this chapter that they're training because for a fact that we learned that since they're under the assumption that Meliodas is still dead. You know, these guys aren't informed that Meliodas is back. So these characters are actually trying to, I would say, get stronger in order to actually finally confront the Ten Commandments, Gloxinia and Dolor, guys. And I'm actually kind of rooting for these two to face in a rematch, guys, because for a fact that the first time that they actually fought against each other, it felt like their match was interrupted. It really did. But that was due to Escanor being around, and we all were just like very excited, like, oh my god, Escanor, get in the fight, yes! But like I said, though, I'm actually hoping for these characters to actually face off in an actual fight, guys. And a lot of viewers are actually wondering, like, yes, you know, we want to see these characters in an actual fight, and we want to see what these new powers they might actually get as well. You know, King getting his fairy wings, Diana finally learning the dance of the giants. You know, we were all just kind of like wondering and speculating as to what was going to happen and what kind of new powers these characters are going to progress with, or if they're going to get new forms too, or if they actually might unlock a hidden ability that they might have from their hidden clan members. Because remember, the fairy clan and the giant clan seems to have, like, they seem more in the magic oriented side of the aspect of the Taizai universe, versus Escanor just seems to be just getting power from the sun, while Bon is just immortal. Like, you know, it's just different with the different aspects and quirks that the seven deadly sins have. We are all interested into what King and Diana are gonna come out as. You know, it's always intriguing, guys. Like I said, the seven deadly sins are very intriguing in each and every one of the chapters, guys. Granted, though, in this chapter, we do get a little bit of the etchiness, you know, by Nakaba actually giving us down that comic relief tension from the previous chapters from there on. Like I said, I like the way Nakaba does his stories, guys. He gives a little bit of rising climax, and he kind of lets us down, and it starts all over rising climax, and then lets it down with exposition. Like I said, it's very interesting as to how he's actually going with these chapters. And in this chapter, guys, he actually was going with Diana and King. You know, they're and it's kind of weird, like, at the fact that they're training, guys. They were training, but hear me out, guys. They were training naked in the fairy forest, and I thought to myself, that made no sense whatsoever. If I'm training, I'm gonna be wearing at least some pants or shorts. But Diana and King were both training all nude, and I'm here thinking, like, are they trying to communicate with nature? I'm like thinking, like, if it really is, that's one etchy way of showing a Nakaba. And granted, though, in the chapter, we actually got to see Diana's actual full body naked. You know, props to you, Nakaba. Props to you for all the fan service that you're giving us in every Taizai universe, guys. Props to you. But like I said, Nakaba did have a funny way of doing it. But like I said, though, with the little comic relief scene, we're actually then noticing that, like I said, King and Diana are still mourning over the death of Meliodas. And it's actually very interesting, the fact that, you know, that they're actually still mourning over the fact that, you know, they're using that as an scapegoat, saying, I'm sorry, not as a scapegoat, as like motivation and action, and actually trying to reach a goal. Because I mean, not only do they have to protect the world, but you know, they actually have to protect the fairy forest itself. And in the fairy forest, guys, not only were the fairies involved in there, but the giant clan as well, guys. Yes, the both clans right now have merged together, and which is very interesting because not that many clans kind of do that in a sense, but due to the fact that King and Diana are in an actual predicament involving with this fight with the Ten Commandments, it's actually interesting how the giant clan and the fairy clan are very involved in the chapter. And it's very interesting how Nakaba actually wrote that too. The giants and the fairies living together in the fairy forest gave off a very sense of peace right there. You know, even though it's at war, we're still given a sense of peace right there, guys. It's very interesting, like I said. But granted, though, in the chapter, then later on, we're then involved with a more serious tone, guys. Yes, don't get me wrong. We are then looked at with Gerhard. Gerhard. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or wrong. Let me know down in the comments below if I'm pronouncing it right or wrong. But I'm gonna call her Gerhard. But Gerhard was actually trying to talk to King and saying, King, you know, I feel like there's a presence actually among us, and I feel like as if that someone is watching us each and even though we're inside the fairy forest. And I'm here thinking like, oh snap, we all know who that is, because there's only one person that actually knows where the fairy forest is at, guys, and that is Gloxinia, guys. And that for sure kind of made sense too, because of the fact that, well, Gerhard and then all of them were actually talking amongst each other and saying that, you know, we should just relax and party and whatnot. And next thing you know, there's a sudden twist and a switch in the transition of the chapter, guys. And then it started going very merrily happy, and all of a sudden we are then looked at Gloxinia dancing and waltzing with the fairies and the giants, and every viewer is like wondering what the heck is going on. What am I reading? Is this like a flashback? Is this a hidden memory of Gerhard? No, all of this was actually all this was this like going through the main story, guys. And what was going on, what happened was, which by the way they kind of didn't really explain too much, but it seems like everyone was under a spell and they were all being very happy in ecstasy, guys. I'm sorry, they were being joyous, you kind of say. It's like as if someone put them under a spell, like a hypnotic spell. Like they were just kind of just being merrily. That's what basically just kind of gave off. Even the drawing and tone actually changed when they were being in a merrily state. And even then, right there, guys, and viewers can speculate that yes, they were in a spell right there, guys, which is pretty interesting too, guys, because Gerhard was actually dancing with Gloxinia, and they actually had a little bit of, you could say, a little passionate love, romantic scene right there, guys, which is very interesting too, because Gerhard actually looked like as if she was in love with Gloxinia. And even then, right there and then, guys, then the transition then switched again with Nakaba, giving us viewers, leaving us exasperated, leaving us wondering what's going on. And next thing you know, someone from the fairy clan says, oh no, the King and Diane are nowhere to be seen. And Matrona, you know, she's around there as well, guys, don't worry. She goes around and saying that just doesn't make any sense. Who in their right mind would have taken these guys? You know, of course, you know, from their perspective, they're still kind of wondering as to who really is around. You know, since they didn't really sense anybody. You know, Matrona, the battle-oriented warrior that she was, she couldn't sense it, you know? And the thing is, too, guys, that later in the chapter, that we are then looked at Gloxinia and Dolor, guys. These two characters, they transported King and Diana to some faraway place right there and then. And we're wondering as to why these characters do that. And let me tell you guys why. Personally, this chapter explained a lot, guys. It really did. And in this chapter, we are then noticing that, as a matter of fact, Gloxinia and Dolor doesn't seem like they're actually trying to attack King and Diana. Because if they really were, they would have single-handedly attacked them instead of just transporting them somewhere else, which makes no sense. So in reality, guys, maybe in the next chapter, guys, maybe just then, maybe Dolor and Gloxinia are gonna help Diane and King gain their powers, guys. And I think to myself that actually that seems plausible too, because for a fact that Gloxinia and Dolor did actually indeed fight back in the 3,000-year-old war that was back in the days, guys. So it would make sense if they're actually trying to help King and Diane. And granted too, at the end of the chapter, guys, we were actually then noticing that King and Diane, you know, even though they're transported and they're like, oh my god, it's the 10 Commandments, we're gonna go out in a blaze of glory. But the way that Dolor and Gloxinia looked at them, it didn't really look as if like they were saying, yes, I'm gonna kill you. It looked more like, yes, you come at me. I want you to come at me. I want you to learn. I want you to learn the secrets of the techniques of our clans. And I feel like maybe Gloxinia and Dolor know that together they probably might not even defeat Meliodas. Maybe then these two might explain to King and Diane, saying that we need you guys to get stronger because your main enemy really will be Meliodas. In which that in turn, guys, is going to transition back to Meliodas being a final villain, or in fact being a villain sooner than expected, guys. Which is actually, I'm actually wondering as that it's very interesting at the fact that the way that Nakaba is writing the story. Gloxinia and Dolor, you know, at first were seen as major villains, and now they're transitioning to being actually a very helpful alliance members. Granted, though, this is a theory that I'm actually looking at through this chapter, guys, but it's actually a very plausible theory too, guys, when you look at it, because of the fact that, you know, like I said, why didn't Gloxinia and Dolor just attack King and Diane? Why didn't they? They even gave them the chance to actually attack too, because like they remember when they transported, they said, you can open your eyes now. If they were really trying to kill them, they could have just done it right there and then. If they were under a spell. Like I said, it just makes more plausible sense that Gloxinia and Dolor are actually trying to help King and Diane. Because remember, they're actually also looking for successful clan members in order to keep their lineage going on strong. And I'm thinking, man, like I said, I'm just wondering as to what Dolor is going to teach Diane, and I'm here thinking like Diane probably might learn to dance, but she might learn some other hidden techniques, maybe some earth molding in itself, guys. Like she's able to like shift the land the way that Dolor is able to do it, in a way that it's a massive scale. When you look at it, it's a very powerful technique, guys, moving the earth itself, which by the way, I'm thinking like, holy snap, if she's able to do that, she's at least able to create at least a wall against giant type clan-esque demons, or at least being able to barricade the Battle of Leonis itself. Like I said, it's very interesting like the way it's going. But the thing is with King, guys, King's wings, I'm here thinking like, what is his powers gonna be? You know, like he unlocked Chastafel, and he unlocked, all he needs to unlock is just his wings. I'm just like thinking about it, and like that's all he really needs to do. So what more does King need to do in order to actually unlock? Because when you also look at Gloxinia's wings look more, not necessarily fairy-esque, but they look more like demon-esque when you look at it. Like the way that it's the drawing and style of it. Because when you look at the other fairies, their wings are very much thinner. They're not exactly like dark shaded, like the way that Gloxinia's is shaded. Maybe it's a mixture of the demon blood that they might do with King. We don't know that for sure. Maybe King might actually come out with some actually pure fairy clan wings too. Like I said, it's very interesting at the fact that the way King is going. And King is a very fan favorite amongst the Taizai universe as well, amongst many fans too. So we're wondering as to what kind of wings that he will produce and what kind of magic he will unlock with that, guys. Like I said, it's very interesting at the fact of how the way that Taizai is going with this universe. Like I said though, guys, but that's it for this chapter, guys. Like I said, that's all I can say about this rant. You know, like I said, these are all my decent thoughts that are out on sheet, or like I say, on video right now. But let me know down in the comments below on you guys' thoughts and theories as if Gloxinia and Dolor are actually trying to help King and Diane. Like I said, I personally think they really are. They're not trying to kill him anymore. And personally, I don't think so. But like I said, guys, what are you guys' thoughts on Matrona? Why isn't she put on a pedestal, since apparently she's the clan's leader itself instead of Diane? But then again, they did kind of explain it back in some previous chapters that she has like the essence of the giant clan itself. But like I said though, let me know down in the comments below, guys, what are you guys' thoughts on the chapter itself. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, give a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Nanatsu no Taizai universe anime related content. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day. But this is Mr. Zen signing out.